Can animals see ghosts? Life can bring with it some hair-raising, goosebump-inciting moments, and our pets may just be able to see scary ghost sightings better than us. Pets have been known to see ghosts that their owners can't. There may even be proof that pets have a paranormal sense. It makes you wonder just what our pets can really see and feel. These animal ghost stories will chill you to the bone. Now let's roll the tape and look at these scary ghost sighting stories by pets. And for some extra fun, find our mascot Ned hiding throughout the video. Ghost dog. We sure do love our pets. They become part of the family, and we don't want anything bad to happen to them. But when our pets do pass away, what happens to them? One woman claims to have seen the ghost of her dog and even caught its supposed apparition on tape. The dog was put down because of an illness, but the owner felt very guilty for making the decision. From her perspective, her dog's ghost was forgiving her, so she could move on. Demon Cat of the Capitol. If you've studied American history, then you know that the Capitol building is a very important part of the American government. Many historical moments in American history can be traced back to the events that took place in this building. The Capitol is also home to something a bit creepier. The demon cat of the Capitol is said to have glowing red eyes and appear before catastrophic events in American history. People have seen the cat before the stock market crash in the 1920s and before Kennedy's assassination. Some may see this as a bad omen, or perhaps the cat is trying to help by warning us. What do you think? Hounds and the Child. Sometimes we think of actors and celebrities as being invulnerable to getting scared. After all, they have worked on all sorts of different sets and maybe even starred in a horror film before. But even famous people are not immune to the supernatural. Actor Christopher Knight was staying at a creepy bed and breakfast with the rest of the crew for filming a particularly scary episode of The Brady Bunch. He claims to have seen 2 dogs and a young girl staring at him in the middle of the night. The worst part was that the 2 decorative dogs on the fireplace mantel were identical to the ones the actor saw. Safe to say, he probably didn't want to film there ever again. Sensing disaster. We know that in life, bad things happen. Most of the time, we can't predict when disaster will strike. But what if your cat could sense disaster before it happened? A woman named Krista Lynn tells her story to a publication about how her cat sensed danger and saved her life. When Krista was a kid, she had a big orange cat named Leo. Her cat, all of a sudden, started behaving strangely, meowing loudly and jumping onto furniture and onto a shelf filled with crystal bowls. After about 2 minutes of wails coming from Leo, Krista went to pick up the cat to figure out what was up. Not even a minute later, a heavy shelf fell in the exact location Krista's head was on the couch. If not for her cat, she would have been telling a very different story. The hallway. When people or pets close to us make a sudden personality change, it's very obvious. We know the typical behavior and routine. For one pet owner, her dog's sudden changes meant something much darker, not just an "I am hungry" behavior. A pet owner was surprised when her dog, who never howled before, started howling for hours outside her bedroom door. It was aggressive, as if warding off an intruder. The next day, she did the same for about 3 hours. The creepiest part was that, later in the day, the dog was found inside her brother's room. He always leaves the door closed when he is not home. Yet, without her brother or anyone else in the house opening his bedroom door, the scared dog was there. It's unknown what happened or who let her into her brother's room. A normally gentle dog was so upset his room was left in shambles. No one blamed her. She went back to normal, right after. Under the tile. Imagine if you had to live in a haunted house. Every squeaky door and creaky floor will seem extra creepy. Your dog may even be able to sense supernatural things inside the house. A dog living in a haunted house kept barking at the ceiling in a basement, much to its family's surprise. When they looked under the tile, they found old news clippings about murders and other tragedies from before the 1950s. After experiencing that, you may just want to move out of that haunted house. Horror-loving kitty. Some of us enjoy the thrill and excitement of watching a horror movie. There is nothing better than sitting down with a bowl of popcorn and waiting to jump out of your seat during the scary parts. Okay, not everyone loves scary movies. My mom loves them. I don't like them at all. Well, most humans aren't the only ones who like scary movies. Your pet may like them too. Taya Mackenzie said in a report that her cat Lola will purr every time a scary scene will happen in a movie. The scarier, the louder Lola will purr. Since Taya also loved horror films, from that night on, Lola was first in line to watch horror movies with Taya. Taya not only enjoyed the films, she also enjoyed watching her horror-loving kitty rub against the TV during the worst parts. I wonder how Lola would react to romantic comedy. She will be more my kind of kitty then. The daughter's bedroom. You might expect that visiting your friend's house will be a ton of fun. And if you spend the night, that's even better. So what would you do if your dog started acting crazy at your friend's house? The hosting family had cats, so Kelsey left her dog inside the bedroom she was going to sleep in. Suddenly, the dog started barking like crazy despite the fact that she never barks. Kelsey was confused, so she went back to check on her dog. She noticed the dog was passing and looking at one particular part of the room very intently. After that incident repeated itself for a couple of times, the family told Kelsey that there was once a young girl that had passed away in that exact bedroom. The family had also heard footsteps and other noises before. Needless to say, the dog did not have a great time at the sleepover. The paranormal powers of dogs. As humans, we rarely know when bad things will happen. That's why life can be so incredibly unpredictable. While we may not even sense bad things happening, dogs are thought to be able to feel and see things that we can't, since their senses are naturally heightened. Whether it's due to an overdeveloped sense of smell or changes in barometric pressure, dogs have been known to be able to sense or feel natural disasters before our detecting instruments could. According to research, many dogs can even reportedly see the paranormal phenomena that we aren't able to. This could be due to changes in vibrations and frequencies, as well as the air density that they detect better than we can. So pay attention if your pet starts acting weird. It will be interesting to understand what they're noticing that you are not. Cats, ancient cultures, and the supernatural. If you have ever wanted a lucky charm to help you on a test or at an interview, you wouldn't be alone. Cultures all over the world have different ideas about lucky symbols and items. Believe it or not, cats can be seen as lucky too. The ancient Egyptians revered cats as being lucky and divine. Their abilities to detect and sense the supernatural world brought cats to be revered as gods. And what is the most common pet a witch will get? A cat. Crows are also associated with witches. That's because crows are magical. In ancient cultures and mythology, crows were the messengers from the divine to us humans. For Vikings, crows were the guides looking for land during long voyages. And they will also bring the worthy Viking warriors to Valhalla. So maybe you can befriend the neighborhood crows. But if you already own a cat, you may have a lucky charm that can peek into the supernatural. Oscar came to say hello. When a loved one crosses the rainbow bridge, we hope that our loved one will rest peacefully. Life can be cruel, but at least after they have passed, they should only feel peace. Well, one couple was surprised to find out that their beloved pet may not have been resting so peacefully in the great beyond. Alice wrote her story in the Dear Joan column of the Mercury News, sharing her pet ghost story. Alice and her husband had lost their beloved dog, Oscar. He used to go into their master bedroom early in the morning to wake the couple up. Well, one day, the couple heard their deceased dog bark in the living room and its nails scratch on the hardwood floors. Alice got really frightened by the noises that reminded her of Oscar. The noises didn't stop until Alice asked the dog to wait for her in heaven because she was scared. Luckily, Oscar is a good boy and is waiting for her. No more scary noises. Can your pet ward off evil? What do you do when you're scared? Maybe you ignore it, or maybe you hold a religious item. If you have a pet with you, you may not even need to be scared. According to research, children who suffer from night terrors benefit from having a pet around. Having a furry buddy helps them calm down faster and fall back to sleep sooner. But if it's not the imagination but a real ghost lurking, then it's not uncommon for your pets to bark, growl, and hiss at things we simply can't see. By doing this, it is said they ward off any evil. So even if your pet notices something unusual in your house, they're keeping it away from you and the rest of the family. One more reason to adopt. Your pet will not only be a great company, but be your guardian in many dimensions. The Dog and the Ouija Board. Have you ever been curious about communicating with the other side? You wouldn't be alone. Ouija boards are sold at many superstores and game stores. Could Ouija boards be more than just a silly game though? Two friends decided they wanted to play with a Ouija board and seemed to have opened up communication with a spirit. The spirit they summoned started spelling his name, J-O-H. Right when they were above the letter N, Lucky, the dog, usually docile, went crazy barking at nothing and seemed about to attack. That was enough for them to stop the game and burn the board down. Scary ghost aside, it seems our friendly pets are in tune with another, more supernatural part of the world. Maybe one day they'll let us in the mystery. Thank you for watching, and until next time. Remember to click the bell icon after you subscribe so you can get instant notifications of all our new videos.